everybody, Geraldine Rose here. All right, we're gonna try this clean and simple until I get closer and closer. This again was for the Clean and Simple Hop over on Instagram. It's hosted by Nancy, and she is helping me to figure out clean and simple. So I'm getting closer. I'm not quite there yet, and I'll tell you what is wrong with this card at the end. All right, we're starting out with the Ultimate Japanese Anemone, and my whole idea was you can do the whole panel in one color. You don't just have to keep it white with one little focal spot. So I thought, well, I'm going to do this all in like blue tones because that was the theme for this month was blues. I thought the anemone would tie in well with that. So I've stamped the image down and then I put the embossing powder in clear and the rose gold, just speckled it around the outside spots because I wanted it to be very delicate. Coming in with my inside sentiment there. I'm going to emboss that one as well because I thought, well, I'm going to try and keep this all one panel at first. And you'll see later that that didn't quite work out. Anyway, used my anti-static powder, put the embossing powder on after the Versamark, tapped it off, embossed everything here. So far, it's looking good. I'm like, okay, I'm happy with this. It's got a really delicate, that Japanese print look to it. I brought out the solid sentiment strips from Altenew because I was going to use that for my sub-sentiment banner. And I used the oxide inks for this because I wanted to tie in what I was going to do with the panel with this. And I thought, well, I'll put the lighter tone of the oxide down first, and then I came back in with it. It was like Stormy Skies or something. And I'm going to run it through again. So here's the second pass. And you can see I'm not putting it down fully on that portion of the plate that we're going to stamp. I'm going to grab the napkin. I'm going to tap out a little bit of it so that it gives more of that mottly look, which will again tie in with the oxides because you can distress them with water if you want to. I'm not going to do that with this because we want that sentiment to be clear. But I just thought it would have a really nice creamy spotty effect to it. So there's the second pass. Now, with your better press, that plate underneath will shift a little bit. You can see that I and some other people will do this too. We've got it masking taped in so it doesn't shift. So I'm going for the third pass with a light coating of the pigment gold and give it a little bit of a shimmer across the top. I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm going to set that aside to dry because of course the oxides take longer to dry. We'll work on the inside with the Peruvian Lily, a sentiment. And this is another card in my Goodwill series. Once I figured out that, okay, send just cards out to let people know that you're thinking of them and that we're strong and that we can get through the times that are happening in our world right now. And it helped me feel better about what has been going on out there, especially after what started happening New Year's. For this one, I put the lighter blue down first, and I'm going to highlight that one little portion, those couple of words there about strong people in the darker tones, which is why I'm very carefully wiping it off. And I'm using my finger to wipe away any wetness so that I don't start blurring out the inks that are above in the other words. Now, I want to mask off that portion of the panel because I thought, okay, I'll have all blue through the background and I'm going to use the anemone and keep it in white. So I got out the masking paper and I just stamped the image down in jet black. I'm fussy cutting it out here. I'm going to put it over top of the panel that you can see underneath there so that when I go in for the next step, which is using the oxide sprays and the white pigment ink as well too. I caused a whole bunch of like ink smoosh spots all through it. I'm just letting those run. I'm spraying it. I'm getting it so that it's quite dilute in the background. And then I came back over with some like lost shadow over top of it for the portion that we're missing. Putting some speckles on will help with the distress look. I didn't actually put any water spots on this one. So I've set that aside to dry. And when it was done drying, I didn't like it. It was too much all across the panel. So you can see that I got out the hexagon die cuts. I sent it through the Big Shot and I cut out a hexagon shape. So I'm redoing, I redid the Japanese anemone again with exactly those first steps that I did, sprinkling a little bit of gold, having the clear embossing powder around it, and I'm bringing my stencils out now. I've die cut it out. I'm using the light blues and then the darker blues, just a hint of them on the inside. And I'm going very, very light with the blending brushes around this because I really do want it to be a very delicate flower that's going to be sitting there as the focal point. Getting the leaves done too. These I had a lot more fun fussy cutting out because this is a larger stamp and a larger die cut. And you can see, of course, a larger stencil as well. So the bottom portion, I didn't stamp that, and that's all missing. But that's what the die cut was built for. So yeah, I did have to go in there and nip around them. Here's the part where I am putting that portion over top of the panel that I originally had in the background. And we're going to glue this down. One of the leaves I kept out and I put it so that it's underneath. So it's actually like a 3-layer. So there's the leaf, there's the panel, and then there is the flower on top. And the banner, I ran it through with like a swallowtail end. So we're going to put that just right across the top because with Clean and Simple, you want all of your elements to be clustered, or hopefully they are clustered so that you have a very tight composition with minimal embellishments on it, which is why you can see I'm only putting a few of the half pearls, and I brought those in tones of blue. Some of them had that gasoline effect across the top. So that was my shiny bling bling, but there was little pieces, just a little bit. And I jumped to the envelope. I put a piece of cardstock on the inside so that it doesn't get the bump that, from the sides of your envelope on the inside so that it stamps better on the outside. So we're just using a portion of the Nenemi in the corners. I'm free range stamping with my big block on the outside in a very light blue ink. I think I got one on the back flap here too. I will grab out one of the sentiments from that and just put an extra little note on the outside of the envelope for the recipient. This has already been mailed off. I hope you like it. It's not one of the crazy ones that I do, but hey, it's good. It's good to learn new stuff. So there we are. That's my Clean and Simple card. It's my Goodwill series. And I hope you guys are doing the same. Let's change this world. Let's be that change, okay? Thanks everybody that is subbing and liking and commenting. I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Sorry, everybody. What's wrong with it? The flower is still too big. It should only take up about a quarter of the actual card.